has a Pearl Jam feel.
No, that's Silverchair.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
I sit here and go, well, I'll play a Silverchair song. I haven't heard that song since 1990 something. And then I'm sitting here just trying to fumble through it. I don't even know if I get it right until at the very end, when you start hearing the whole, it's like, I think I got it. And then I mess it up. So I don't know a lot of times if I'm playing these right enough for you to be able to even get them. So it's sort of unfair.
That's all right. I'm not going to hold it against you.
All right, that's one thing.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Great Measures. My name is Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures, man.
All right, we're going to do... This is a collaboration between a couple of different bands. And I need help with this one because I have tried to figure out who's doing what and what band is where and which band member is playing this. So it's two bands. One of them is called Disembodied Tyrant. And the other one is called Synestia. Synestia.
Okay.
Synestia? I don't know. Synestia is how I'm going to say it. And then they've got a vocal guest appearance from Ben from a band called Shadow of Intent, which I'll show you some of their stuff too. They're cool. They do a lot of classical piano and classical symphonic stuff. The song is called the Poetic Edda, Edda.
I've seen this on.
It's been requested a lot.
Comments,
yeah, it's been requested a lot.
That's the song?
Yes, it's also the name of the EP. It's a 4 or 5 song EP that came out. I think the full EP was released in May of 2024, but this song I think got released sometime in late 23. I believe that's right. I've seen it described. Somebody described it as neoclassical technical deathcore, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it also might get your attention a little bit.
Yeah. Because it's kind of, you try to figure that out.
Yeah. That's really all I got. Like I said, I need some help figuring out who's doing what. So anybody who's familiar with that part of the process, let me know who's playing what and who's doing what. I know Ben's vocals, so I've got that part down, but the rest of it, I don't know.
What's your shirt?
That's Edda. The band we did recently from Portugal.
Oh.
I like the album artwork. I thought it was cool. It was the artwork for their upcoming album, and it comes out in October.
The eye.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It's like sand flowing out of it.
Mm-hmm. Still the eye.
It's cool. Ready to roll? This is Disembodied Tyrant, Synestia, featuring Ben from Shadow of Intent, playing the Poetic Edda.
You say all that for my benefit?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to go back and
Yeah.
let me get out my notebook.
Let's do it. I'm not going through the bands again. I'm just going to say the Poetic Edda. Bless you. The Poetic Edda.
Thank you.
Ready to roll?
Poetic Edda. Sorry. Let me get a hold of myself. Proceed, Richard. Okay then, Richard.
Let's hear it.
Well, you know those nature sounds at the end? I liked those.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
No, there are parts of it I like.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the when the guitar and the violin were going off together. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you like some of this, or go as far into liking some of you like this. In some stages of it where it has those big, whatever you call them that everybody's doing now in the metal, the boom.
Sure.
Where it's just, I wish I knew what they're doing in the booth to make that so, because it's just, it spreads out like it's such a huge hit. But it doesn't sound like it would necessarily bust your speakers all the way.
No.
I mean, I'm sure it would if you.
Yeah.
But it sounds. I don't know. I'd like to know how they're if it's just if it's just like a compressor, or if it's some kind of distortion that they have on the bass drum or something. But it sounds so industrial.
Yeah.
And you know that one part in the song where it kind of quiets up for a second and it goes. Doo, doo, doo. I thought they were fixing to bring some funk or something.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Not at all. In fact, it went right back into.
Yeah.
The stuff with the strings, I can see. The mixing of those two things is cool to me.
The strings and the guitar together.
That and just the symphonic stuff going on. It seems like this would be a tough song to pull off live.
Yeah, and I don't know if they, like I said, it's a collaboration. So Disembodied Tyrant is a solo project of a guy named, I think it's Blake Mullins. And then Synestia, or however you want to pronounce it, is two people. One vocals, one guitar, I believe, or one instruments, I don't know. And then you've got Ben in that last, the really slow breakdown part there at the end. And I think Ben may be in there in other places.
The singer.
Yeah,
Is he the lower singer or the high?
Yeah, he's the low guy. He's young too. I think he's still in his 20s, but they've been his band Shadow of Intent, and then he's with he's got another band called, I think it's the Hollow Prophet. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if they do this live, right? Like, because a lot of these solo projects, because there's a ton of them in metal where it's just one person doing everything. It's kind of hard to tour that, or get everybody together live.
I'm more talking about just all the stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could do synthesizers for the strings and all that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably done on synthesizer if I had to guess.
Oh, maybe. They have some I guess they have some pretty realistic sounding stuff now, but
Yeah.
and you could almost hear it. I thought you could almost hear the screeching of the strings with the bow, but what do you like about it so much? That isn't to imply that there's not something that
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, my love of deathcore, it goes all the way back to the I say all the way like it's forever ago, but it's been a while. My first experience with deathcore that I really fell in love with, I think, was probably 2007 or 8, maybe 2006. There's a band, and I guess you could kind of call it deathcore. It was an earlier version of deathcore. There was an album called Allegiance by a band called As Blood Runs Black, and that was my first real taste of earlier deathcore. But all that to say, deathcore has progressed over the years. It started with like bands like Suicide Silence and stuff like that, and it's progressed over the years and into this more, they started taking things from technical death metal, and because it used to just be, I mean, I don't want to say it, all of it was, but it was a lot more simple open chords, chugging, breakdowns, double bass, blast beats, that type of stuff. Obviously, the Shadow of Intent with Ben and these bands and Lorna Shore and Arcspire and all these other bands that have gone more into the technical realm of things have progressed it, obviously. But to say specifically what I like about it, I don't know. I like metal. I don't know. I like that bands push boundaries. I like the extremity of it. I like that it makes me uncomfortable sometimes.
Weird.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Well, I don't know.
You don't like to be uncomfortable in many other places in your life.
I really don't.
But your music.
Yeah.
You reserve your uncomfortability for your music.
Yeah.
We could pick that apart if you wanted to.
Probably, yeah. I need to see a therapist.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I this is one of those songs when we do some where I can understand. I mean, it's this has got to come out of a brain or two, and it almost seems more impressive when it's more than one person that's creating something like this, because it's so. I don't want to use the word technical because it's sort of in the definition, you know. It's like using the word in the definition when it's called something. But it's just so eclectic in its putting together, you know, stops. And so sometimes when we're listening to this stuff, and I know it's just like anything else, but we're listening to it and I hear it for the first time, I think, there's no way that I could remember. Like, how are they... It just seems really odd sometimes for some of the stops and then some of the you know, where it, I think it, how can that be so unique in the moment, being that it's probably just a scale, and it's just me in the moment thinking.
Sure.
And then they suddenly stop and go do 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 do. You know, I think who's sitting there going, you know, then we ought to do. We ought to go and then stop, and then you go and then stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then let's just go, drop an atomic bomb on everybody, and then drop another one, and then that's just my in the moment. You know what I'm thinking. But again, I have to listen to it again. I know there's a theme that runs out, but. We now know that Poetic Edda is just the name of one of two medieval Icelandic writings that they have. They have a prose Edda and they have a Poetic Edda that's unnamed. And it would seem like the lyrics, as you looked, are sectioned into four different things. Four parts. So that may have something to do with this song's, the turns that this song's making.
Sure.
Seems like it's telling a story, and some of the words in there seem like Old Norse words. It may be referring to specific things that are in that Poetic Edda. I can only imagine, because one of them is Gjalldahorn or something, and then I think the end of the last one was benduerr, something that's Norse, the words are, so they have to be following something. And it seems like it's just telling a story of warriors and wars and, you know, things long ago of steel and blood and fire and stuff like that. So that would probably account for some of the turns in the song that I'm hearing. And I'm not being critical. I'm just saying, upon my first listen, it's hard to follow some of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And then relate it back, because there's no real verse, chorus, but I can see how it would be fun to make. There's certainly a grandeur to it, you know. There's just this bigness throughout the whole thing. That, like you said, sometimes it seems as though it's, I mean, how much, you sit here and think, I do, how much bigger can you get in the sense of what that means, you know, with these big, huge sounds and these all this going on at the same time, and then two of them are what's the next step after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to even imagine what that is.
Yeah, somebody will get there.
Unless they throw in a turntable or something.
Yeah. I like the choir. The way that a lot of bands or some of these symphonic deathcore bands or technical death bands, like Flesh God Apocalypse that we did the Minotaur song. You know, Lawrence Shore would throw some choir sounds in there. I enjoy the meshing of the two, the distorted vocals, the distorted guitars, the fast drums, or even when they slow it down and they've got a choir playing over, singing over it. But then the symphonic element of it too. You know, the first one I remember, and it kind of goes back to those days of like being introduced to deathcore. There's a band called Winds of Plague, and they had an album called Decimate the Weak that came out in like 07 or 08. And I'd never heard of them. I went to a show. It was the band I talked about earlier, As Blood Runs Black. Suicide Silence was the headliner. Winds of Plague, and another band called See You Next Tuesday.
Not all these names.
Yeah.
And then See You Next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Well, the shirt was the acronym, the logo, or the See You Next Tuesday. The letters CUNT. Yeah, that's the whole.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
We can't say that word on here.
But it was at this little. I'm sorry, I'm straying here, but the show was at this little arcade. I think it was actually called the Arcade in a small town, Sheffield, Alabama. Just in the middle of nowhere.
This is the beginning of a horror film or something.
No, it was cool. And I'd never heard Winds to Plague because the album Decimate the Weak hadn't come out yet. And anyways, they come out. I think it's them, As Blood Runs Black, and then Suicide Silence. But Winds of Plague comes out, and they've got a keyboard player. And it's symphonic sounding, and then they play the intro. The first song they play is the first song on the album, and it's got this intro feel to it. And I may show you some of their stuff at some point. I don't know, man. It's just and I was like, oh, I got to hear more of this. And I got the album, bought the CD or something, and that was really the first time I remember hearing symphonic elements mixed with heavier, more extreme metal, and I thought it was really cool. Not that it was the first that was ever done or anything, but that was my first experience with it.
Yeah, I like it. The choir stuff and especially the choir element is one thing, and then the symphonic thing is another. In my mind, they don't. You mix them and it's cool, but the choir because Batushka. Is it Batushka or Batushka?
Batushka.
Is that right?
That's how
They were telling us the stress is on the BA, right?
Oh, is it?
Or it's not on the BA. It's on Batushka.
I don't know.
I think they were saying it's on the BA. Shoot.
I don't know.
Yeah, but we should know. You know, they use choir in their stuff.
Yeah.
And
the
I like
Gregorian sounding.
Yeah, cool. But that's a whole different thing, you know. And then the symphonic thing, which is cool. But they're both big. They both have this big, you know, this. I hate to use the word epic, but this grandeur to it, and this looming thing, you know. And you stick them together, and it's just crazy. I think. You know, in our band, Thoom.
Our Thoom band, yeah.
We ought to incorporate symphonic elements, and then the chant, the choir. Okay.
So we're going Gregorian style chanting.
Yeah.
Choir,
yeah. Which could be sort of
doom riffs and thal riffs.
Well, I think
Who's doing vocals in this band?
we'll see. So, but you use a synthesizer for, some of those noises, but to have Doom going, don, don, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Have the Star Wars, like the Duel of the Fate style choir.
Yeah. And then, but so I have to pick formulaically. You're doing Doom. You have to say you're doing.
So the bass is Doom.
You're doing Doom.
And then we layer it and we build upon it with fall, choir, chants.
Yeah.
It's going to sound terrible.
No, it'll be great.
It's going to
It'll be great. You just got to find a formula that works. And it'll click. It'll click.
It would click for sure.
It'll click eventually, but you just gotta be simple. Everything's got to be simple and one idea. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's
buy more pedals.
Oh yeah, you gotta
We're gonna have pedals.
Guitar player
so
pedals,
far.
a synthesizer. I'll play bass and do the
synth.
other
Okay.
noises, and then
All
you
right.
just play guitar.
Okay.
And then
I got a drummer. I'll bring my homeboy Zach in.
and then
Shout out to Zach.
and then I'll sing on stuff, but I'll sing like a lounge singer. How about that? That'd be funny, because it's Doom. It's Doom. Doom.
Thum.
We can THUMM with little dots over the U. I don't know. I don't even know if there's dots.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Judson's about to go way down the rabbit hole.
I mean, that's what you do
That was
when you're hunting
the
rabbits.
Poetic Edda by Disembodied Tyrant, Synestia, and benduerr from Shadow of Intent.
Oh, then I was wrong.
How?
At the bottom of the lyrics, that was Ben.
Oh, that was his name.
That was his name. Well, I'm a moron. I'm glad
it's
we
all
caught
good.
that.
Yeah,
Man.
it's all
People
good.
tell me that. Thanks so much for showing me this song, Richard.
I don't like that.
Well, come on. Why not?
It. I don't know.
guess
It makes
your
me feel
gratitude.
uncomfortable.
That's another thing that makes you feel well, no. You like to feel uncomfortable with the music.
I like
Whatever. Go ahead.
We are Great Measures. My name's Richard. This is Judson.
Great measures.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.